Hi there, I wanted to take a look at a few different kinds of bitless bridles. This one is a rope halter type, and there are many different kinds of rope halter types depending on, whoever makes them, how they make them. But basically this goes across the nose. They may or may not have knots. Basically, it's just a rope halter, but it has some kind of loop, either a metal loop or this one is rope incorporated into it. What's nice about these is that they're very light, and most horses will take them. It's just like a rope halter, just with little rings for the reins, and you can attach halter. Use it as a halter, so if you're doing it for endurance and stuff, you don't have to worry about having a separate halter. And then this one, typically you tie the knot. What I have here is a second knot, and that's so that this doesn't flap around, because one of the complaints about rope halters and stuff is that you have this long thing, and if this flies around during riding, then you can totally whack their eye with that. And this one, it doesn't have a knot. It actually has this quick undo, so all you have to do is pull this up like this, so this loop is loosened, this one, and then you just slide that knot through, and then when you're ready to tighten it again, you just pull down. And now it's tight. So there's no need to tie that knot. Then for this, you just tie it however way you want. I just do a simple knot like that, or the other style, just to make sure that this doesn't flap around. So everyone's always worried about, how severe is it? Basically, I think that this bone across their nose, or on the top of their nose, is like your shin bone, the top of your shin bone. Okay, there's not any fat over here. You have some nerve bundles, some major nerve bundles and everything, and they don't like that mess with. Just like I play around with my shin bone, and I was pushing on it, and just with my finger pressure I can make it very uncomfortable for myself, and I believe that that is what they feel. So imagine feeling this against your shin bone. At rest, at zero, it has a zero neutral, doesn't feel like anything. But as soon as you pull on it, that is going to feel sharp. I think the biggest complaint I have with the rope is that it moves around. There is no way to really stabilize this thing, and this moving around is no good if you are trying to teach your horse, because the cues are always going to be different. This knot is going to put pressure at different places at different times depending on where it happens to be sitting. And if you only pull on one side, then it's going to shift all the way over on this side, and then on this side this rope gets really close to the eye, and that'll happen with loose leather bridles as well. So you really want to make sure that whatever bridle you have doesn't move around much at all, or else it's not going to be effective, and it's not going to be comfortable for your horse's eye either. So then I tried this one, and this is a custom one from Buckaroo Leathers, but they make side pulls like this, and basically it's a side pull and or side cue. Basically, it's just like a leather halter with extra stabilization straps on it. This is a stabilization strap. All it does is to stabilize here to prevent this from moving too much, and it has a jowl strap. Only thing the jowl strap does is to stabilize. This one has a throat latch as well, which throat latches don't really do much in my opinion. unless your horse is really good at getting their bridle off, and mine never do anything like that, so it's kind of useless for me. That's an extra strap. Then there are jowl straps that sit a little further back, but we'll go over that later. So all this one does is you pull on it and it's going to signal, it's going to put pressure right there on that nose piece. This nose band here is just leather and doesn't really do much. It's really, really loose. It's just to basically hold this thing on. Now this particular one, nosebands can be of any which material. This particular one is a rolled leather, which is kind of hard, but it's leather, it's soft, it doesn't have the bite of rope or thin rope. It's because it's wider, so the pressure's more evenly spread out. But it's not super soft like just pure leather or padded, you know, with the fur and all that stuff. But my horse can totally ignore me in this if he wanted to. I can pull as hard as I want, and if he wants to go, then he'll just pull right through me. So this one is pretty much only good for a totally bitless trained horse, that, or a very honest horse that isn't going to try to take advantage. I ride in all sorts of terrain and we go fast. We go as fast as he wants to go, and so this one offers the least amount of control or bite, or what I basically say is he can ignore this. It doesn't do anything to him that he isn't happy to just push right through. Now he has two different behaviors. Day one behavior, he's fresh, and that's when he really puts my bitless bridles to the test. Day two, the second day of riding, he's perfect because he got that initial, you know, freshness out of him, and now he's, you know, not really caring about ignoring me. So this is definitely a day two bridle for me, until we get more training and he's a little less pig-headed. So what I love about this bridle is that it feels solid on him. It will not really move other than that little tiny bit over there. You can shift this and push this out to hold the shape of this however way you want. So you can have a little bit of maneuverability with this stabilizing piece. When you pull, it's just going to go right there. What I don't like, okay, so stable. This thing is stable, it's solid, love that. But what I don't like about it is that the cues are very dull and not really precise because it's just this. And so basically any cues that travel from my hand goes to this ring, then goes here, and then kind of spreads out. He'll feel it up here, but otherwise it's just a very dull kind of cue. It's just kind of blah. The signal just goes like that and just spreads out evenly across. So for any precise work, this one is very, very dull, and I'm switching most all my cues over to seat and leg and breathing. So you know, that's not going to be an issue for much longer, but in the meantime, my biggest complaint is that this just has a dull feel to it. And some people don't like to see all this leather. I don't like to see all this leather. I would like something as simple as possible, and for right now, I know that this strap is useless, so that can pretty much go, but not on this bridle because it's already designed and made to be like this. Then we come to this one. First off, this bridle is made for Bitless Bits. It's from Barefoot, and I love this bridle. because basically what they did was they made this piece so it combines a jowl strap and a throat latch together, eliminating the need for two straps there, and that is perfect. I have this nice and loose, but it's just there to catch. I think you can have this a little bit tighter to have an even, snugger fit, but this was fine for us, so I'm not worried about it. This is my only complaint about this bridle, is how it sits funny right there. And I've seen other pictures of this on horses, and and they look like this as well. And I'm not sure why they did that, because I would want this whole flat piece to lay flat on his crown here or across the pole, but see how this tends to sit upwards? And ignore all this oil on there. It came to me kind of stiff, so I oiled it a bunch. But this bridle is by far the best one that I've tried yet. I love the design of it. It is perfect. I love that they combine the throat latch and the jowl strap together, so you just have that one stabilizing strap, and it works very well without being tight. And then this is the perfect length with some more adjustability for your bitless type bits. Now for the nose piece, this is one that I got from a seller on eBay that they actually sell some pretty neat stuff that isn't sold anywhere else. I spoke with the guy, and he actually gets some imported, and I've spoken to him about importing some other types as well, and he said he's going to look into it, so we'll see. But this is called a Baroque Hackamore, and this is my favorite for my strong 17-1 hand thoroughbred that we go galloping cross country and are in traffic and stuff. This is a day one bit, so it's nice like this. This is how large it is, and it came with this chain that is fine. If you want something softer, I believe a double row flat chain is good, or you can also switch it up to leather. Then it came with a padded nose piece, which I trimmed the fur off of it because I don't like the messy look of all that fur just sticking out in all directions, giving it a little bit of a sleeker look. And this is the biggest complaint I have on hackamores, or what I should say, shanks. My biggest complaint on shanks is if you do direct reining, which I do, and you were to pull or something, then it kind of flips around and it does this. But it's not a big deal, it's just something that we have to learn. He needs to learn different. Each one of this equipment puts pressure on differently, so it becomes a different language that he needs to learn. Oh, when I feel this, she means this. When I feel this, she means this. And one of the good things about trying different kinds and having him learn different languages is the same as people. The more languages you learn, the better it is for your brain, and it helps with flexibility of your brain. Now this thing, because of this nice thick noseband that's nice and comfy, so there's a very definite zero. At rest, it's not laying on him, all this metal. I know all this metal looks, scary, but it's nice and loose. And then he's got the padded nose, and this metal is sitting like this at rest. Same thing here. There's a lot of space here, and then when you pull on here, all it's doing is just giving you a little bit of leverage, and it's not severe. Now the mechanical hackamores, those are the ones that has a metal bar across the nose, and then it's hinged to a long shank metal. metal, and usually the metal bar across the nose is covered in leather or something like that. But that hinge, when you have something of a hinge, that can really crank down. I have never tried one of those, so I can't say for sure. But looking at the design, I can see how that is can be severe. Now this, all it's doing is it starts up here and it's just gonna let, basically what I think makes this great is that there's such a huge on off. I ride with without touching the reins, and then when I want him to start listening, then all I do is pick up the rein and he can feel that, whether it be my weight, my seat, because I'm forward to grab the rein, pick it up, he feels that. And then this for me is contact. Nothing has moved yet, but this to me is, see him turn to me, that is contact right there for us. And if I have to do this and actually move this, look at him backing up. He's like, Mom, I don't know what you're doing. But that is all the contact that we're doing, and he can feel all that. It is very, very definite and precise, or not precise, but it's definite on and off for him. And so that makes it very, very clear, and we love that. Both of us love this. So love that it is set to 0, that it's comfy, padded, and the metal is not really against his face or anything. This is all nice and loose. And then just this, and he responds to it. And here he is backing up because he felt that. And you saw, that's all that it's moving. It's not like, you know, cranking down, going, ah, like that. Although you can see it can totally do that. But even when it does that, it's not really doing much. That's his look on his face when I did that. He's like, what was that? It's not like I'm, you know, tearing his nose off. So this combination right here is perfect for us. This is our day 1 set. I love how soft the bridle is and how it fits very nicely, prevents it from moving around because of this. It doesn't slip, keeps it away from the eyes. And he likes this one the best as well. Only thing I don't like is just cosmetic. I wish that this could be smaller so it doesn't look like that much metal. And for me personally, I don't like brass. I like silver. I just don't like the gold color. I don't like yellow. So that's the only thing. So I had a search to look for something that try to minimize this whole thing. But overall, this right here is perfect for us. So now this setup is the Barefoot Bitless Bridle with a noseband from that eBay seller. And then this is the BBB, or Barefoot Bitless Bit. And you can see the difference here. It's a shorter shank. The shank curves down, and then it has this way of attaching everything. The top one, where you attach your bridle to, the leather is between the metal. Then these bits, they say to put it through here. If you're worried about metal touching your horse's face, which I actually don't mind, but if you do care about that, then instead of looping this through this metal piece, loop it under here and in through the metal right there. So just loop it through there, and then that'll, the what's up against your horse is leather all the way around. I tried that way of doing it, and what happens is that it was sitting very far away from his face because of that leather on this side is going to give you a few millimeters, and then the leather on this side is going to give you a few millimeters. And I just felt that I like the leather, I like the metal up against his face because, one, all it's doing is resting there. and it's not like it's cutting or sharp or anything. It's just rounded metal. I don't find metal to be offensive. I wear necklaces and rings and stuff like that, and it can be, you know, quite fine. So I do this and I like this better, but it is great that you have that option of looping it through there and making it so that it's all just leather touching his face and nothing else. Then this comes around. It's a lot smaller piece than the Baroque Hackamore, and it's a short shank. It comes to here. Oh, I forgot to point out what these shanks do is basically, if you put your, and what's great about this one is that it has different settings. So you can put your rein clip right there and it is just a side pull. And then that's what you get. Then you can put it in the middle one and then you get a little more turn. Or you can put it on the end and get an even more turn. And what this gives is, to me, it's not so much about leverage, it's more about on and off. This is off, 0. Then I have my slow, so it's like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. And he can feel all of that. With a side pull, here's 0, here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You see, it's harder to make that distinction between, you know, all the different, sorry, my English sucks. I don't know how to explain this. All the different graduations like that. It's just not as clear versus this is very clear. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's just very clear. It's not, to me, and the way I ride, it's not about leverage, like, oh my gosh, you can totally crank this down and hurt him and all that. It's not about that. As much as I want to pull on this, this is a nice padded noseband. And honestly, he can pull right through it if he wants. In fact, this setup right here, he can pull through and ignore. I'm not sure why he doesn't like this one as much as the Baroque Hackamore. I mean, but yeah, this one, he's just like, bleh, I don't care. And he knows the difference. He knows he's not supposed to and all that, but he just pulls right through it. Now, not bad, like, I can still do everything and all that in it, but it's not like the Baroque Hackamore where he is perfect. This one we need some more work on. And by work on, I mean go back and review all the basics and all the commands so that he listens properly in this one. And my goal is basically to work across all the different kinds so he learns each language fluently. Just that the Baroque Hackamore, for whatever reason, he picked that one up the best and the fastest, and he actually likes that one a lot. So then we have one last one, and this is another one from that eBay seller, and it's just going to sit like that. So here's the difference. Everything is pretty much the same, but it's arguably a little bit longer shanked. But this shank is completely pointed back. So it's only going to give you play like this. This one gives you play like that. And then this one gives you play like this. Which to me that just says that it's gives you more graduations of cues. And I hope you can see the length difference. Here's where that one ends, the BBB, and here's where this one ends. So there you go. Hope that this was helpful to you guys. I know it's hard to find information on Bitless Bits and Bitless Bridles. A lot of this is going to depend on what you like, your style of riding, how you are with your hands, what cues you use, how much precision you need, how much graduations you need, how much are you asking from your horse. Are you doing side passes, working fences, gates, you know, in delicate situations where you need to have total precision, or if you're just going out and just walking the trails or doing in arena work or something like that. It's all going to matter. And the biggest thing that matters is your horse. What does your horse feel and like? And sometimes that can be a mystery to us, and the only way to know how your horse is going to think is to actually let him try it and tell you for himself. So there you go. Hope this was helpful. If there are any questions, go ahead and leave them for me in the comments below. I am absolutely not an expert. I am going on this journey myself. Just this year I started, so I am definitely not an expert on this, but I have been researching a ton and trying different things on my boy here, and just thought I'd share what data I have been able to gather up in our journey to maybe help you with yours. So good luck and happy riding, everyone.